The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
Overnight, President Trump announcing that the United States and Israel launched a major attack on Iran. The president vowing to eliminate Iran's nuclear program, dismantle its military, and bring regime change.
It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon.
Large explosions shook the capital city of Tehran, and smoke was seen rising from several buildings. Sources briefed on the attack tell ABC News Iran's supreme leader and president were both targeted.
Now that the element of surprise is over, the U.S. and the Israelis will focus on knocking down those missile sites that are going to be used in retaliation. Now the intent here is clear, and the president has made clear that the intent is regime change.
We will have to have resilience, and we have to have courage, and we're going to have to pay prices, maybe heavy prices. But I know what forces, wonderful forces, are within the citizens of Israel. Since the start of this war, we stood together, and today we're going to stand together.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked President Trump for what he called his, quote, historic leadership. Israel is bracing for retaliatory attacks. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Tel Aviv.
We were woken early by the sound of an alarm, which was essentially declaring that Israel had launched an attack against Iran, announcing that there would be a state of emergency, warning citizens to heed advice.
The U.S. has reportedly already intercepted multiple Iranian missiles targeting both American bases and allies in the region. This video shows hotel guests sheltering in place in Bahrain after a missile targeted a nearby U.S. Navy Fleet Service Center.
My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
Iranian state media reporting at least 51 casualties. Here at home, expect increased security at sensitive locations and a protest planned at Times Square at 2 p.m.
Breaking news, this is not a drill. Donald Trump just announced we are at war with Iran.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
The U.S. and Israel have officially launched a massive military strike. Here's everything that you need to know. In an emergency broadcast, President Trump confirmed the start of Operation Epic Fury. He issued a chilling ultimatum to Iran's military.
I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death.
He also told the Iranian people that their hour of freedom has finally arrived, urging them to take back their government as U.S. bombs begin to fall. The U.S. Navy and Air Force, along with Israel's Operation Roaring Lion, are hitting targets across 5 major cities. We're talking missile silos, drone bases, and naval assets. But the biggest story is a video surfacing online right now, reportedly showing direct airstrikes hitting the district containing the Supreme Leader's office and the National Security Headquarters in Tehran, allegedly taking out Iran's defense minister in the initial decapitation strike by the US and Israel. It's also alleged that the Supreme Leader's right-hand man and advisor has been eliminated in the initial airstrike. At this time, it's being reported that the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is in a secure location, but the message is clear: nowhere is safe. In response, Iran has fired missiles towards Israel and targeted US bases in Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. Americans across the Middle East are currently in a shelter-in-place order. Now, what does this mean for us? This is the most significant military escalation in decades. We're looking at a potential regime change war. Oil prices are already volatile, and the US military are on high alert for cyber attacks and regional retaliation. This isn't just a strike, it's a total shift in global power. Now, the situation is changing every minute. I'm monitoring the feeds for the latest US casualties and Iranian counter moves.
Before the sun rose this morning, the sky over the Mid-East were already burning. Explosion lifted up neighborhood in Tehran, family woke up in the sound of siren, fear and uncertainty. Within hours, retaliation followed. Missiles, drone and military base on high alert. Tonight, the world hold its breath because what started as coordinated strike could spiral into something far bigger. This is true verdict, and this is the story unfolding right now.
It's official, the United States have bombed Iran last night for what seems to be the start of a multiple-day operation. Major Iranian cities have been hit, causing Iran to fire back at Israel and many U.S. bases across the Middle East. Mark Carney shows full support for Donald Trump's action to push for a stoppage of the nuclear program in Iran. Many people in Iran are demanding a regime change as well because they are tired of being ruled by Islam. We can see them crying tears of joy as they see bombs being dropped near the Supreme Leader's house. However, many others see this as Israel forcing America into a war that doesn't benefit them in order to eliminate their biggest enemy. This is going to get messy. Trump said in a statement that U.S. lives could very well be lost. How will this develop?
This is happening right now. A joint United States-Israel strike in the heart of Tehran. Ali Khamenei's compound was destroyed, and the first satellite images are already out. And according to the information that we have, senior Iranian figures were targeted, and in Washington, they are confirming active participation in these strikes. This matters now because this isn't another tactical hit. It's a direct blow at the top of the Islamic regime. So I'm Yair Pinto, bringing you all the information from Israel. And at the same time, we have sirens and updated instructions all across Israel, while Iran shuts its airspace and reports major mobile networks disruptions behind the scenes, as a senior United States official expects a much wider wave of strikes. And Trump is saying that the goal is to eliminate the immediate threats. And meanwhile, Iran denies any successful hits on its leadership. They are claiming that the top officials are safe and unharmed. But Reuters reports Khamenei was moved to a secure location, and on the ground, Iran reports thousands unalived and wounded at the Revolutionary Guard bases, and the pressure is rising. This is the opening move towards toppling the regime in Iran, or an escalation that ignites the whole region. We'll see what happens and what will Iran do in the next coming hours. In the meantime, keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem, for the Iranian people that need to be freed from this tyrannical regime. Stand with Israel, keep praying.
I bet you haven't seen this video.
This just happened again. Reports say activity has been detected near a U.S. military base in Bahrain, and tensions are rising fast. Regional media outlets are reporting possible renewed strike activity near American facilities in Bahrain, just hours after earlier escalation. This comes amid rapidly increasing tension between the United States and Iran, following strong warnings from President Donald Trump regarding Iran's missile capabilities. Eyewitness videos circulating, online show flashes in the night, sky and emergency sirens, though independent verification is still underway. Bahrain hosts the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, one of America's most strategically important military commands in the Middle East. The key question now is whether this was a limited warning or part of a broader strategy. Follow for verified updates as this situation develops.
Quick update from Abu Dhabi. I was standing right here in my balcony when I heard a series of blasts which sounded like explosions. I did not understand what was happening. But what you see is a serious spillover of the Iran-Israel conflict into the Gulf. As you know, Israel and U.S. launched a series of coordinated strikes inside Iran early this morning, including sites in Tehran and many other cities. Iran has now retaliated, not just against Israel, but also targeting U.S. military bases in the Gulf region. There were several strikes today on U.S. assets in Bahrain, UAE, Kuwait, Jordan and Qatar. Their governments have confirmed it. In the UAE, authorities have confirmed there was ballistic missile attack from Iran against the country. Air defense systems intercepted these missiles over Abu Dhabi, but debris fell in residential areas. Authorities confirmed that at least one person of Asian nationality was killed. UAE and other Gulf countries have closed their airspaces temporarily. So this is not the first time Abu Dhabi has been targeted. In 2022, the Houthi rebels carried out drone and missile attacks on the UAE. But this time, the context is far more dangerous. Why? Because this is a direct confrontation involving Iran, Israel and the United States, not proxy level or non-state attacks. UAE authorities have urged residents to remain calm, follow official advisories and not spread unverified information. US Embassy has issued alerts to American citizens to shelter in place. There is some level of worry among the UAE residents for sure, because UAE is one of the safest countries in the world. It's a financial and tourist hub. Everybody was hoping that diplomacy and the negotiations mediated by Oman would prevent exactly this kind of confrontation. But what we are seeing is a fast-moving military escalation involving US, Israel and Iran, but with Gulf countries caught in the spillover. And what is serious concern is that this escalation has several characteristics of open conflict. These are direct attacks on national territories, not proxy forces or non-state actors as I said, but missiles crossing international borders. We also see multi-front responses. Iran is simultaneously targeting Israel and US military assets across the Gulf, showing that they are ready for an all-out war. Gulf states are not simply observers here. Their airspace closures and defensive responses show that they are directly affected by this conflict. So the key question is whether this will remain a limited exchange of strikes or move into a sustained regional conflict that can impact millions of people in the region.
Early this morning, coordinatedly military strike reportedly carried out by Israel and the United States hit multiple targets inside Iran, including sites in Tehran and other strategic cities. According to regional sources, the strike focused on military and strategic infrastructure believed to be linked to Iran defense and weapon system. But Tehran did not remain silent. Within hours, Iran launched retaliatory strike, not only towards Israel, but also targeting US military assets across Gulf region. Reports indicate multiple strikes impacting US position in Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Jordan, and Qatar. Military analysts say this marks one of the most direct and widespread escalation between these powers in recent years. The situation now raises critical global question. Will this remain a contained military exchange? Could regional alliance be drawn further into conflict? How will global oil market respond instability in Gulf? And most importantly, how many civilians will pay the price? For decades, tension between Israel, the United States, and Iran has simmered, breathed the surface through sanitation, proxies conflict, cyber warfare, covert operation. But today feels different. There is no longer shadow conflict. This is open confrontation. Global leaders are now calling for restriction. Diplomats back channel are reporting actively. Military forces across the region remain on high alert. The world watches closely because escalation here does not only stay regional, it affects global security, energy supply, and international stability. At True Verdict, we will continue to monitor development and bring verified updates as they unfold. Credit to the staging video used in this video. What do you think happened next? Is this the beginning of wide war? Or will diplomats step in before it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share to keep True Verdicts going. Stay informed, stay aware, stay vigilant. Bye.